Hi, welcome back to Ideas Box, and if this is your first time here, then thanks for dropping by. My name's Jimmy, and today's video is a minor repair, basically a brush change and a commutator cleanup on a belt sander. A friend of mine was using it and it just stopped working, and normally if an electrical power tool with brushes stops working just for no reason, and then you belt it with a screwdriver handle or something like that, and it starts, it's usually the brushes, and it makes a lot of sparking too, but you'll see that in the video. All right then, well, it was a nice easy fix and it didn't cost very much, so let's get into it.
All right, I've had a friend ask me to have a look at this belt sander because it stopped working. So you can plug it in. Right, didn't take out the power in the workshop, so that's good. Right, nothing at all. Right, just let me check. Just going to grab my multimeter. Just see if I've got power to the... Yep, there's definitely power to it, so you can see the red light on the meter. This is quite a good one, this one. Yep, so there's definitely power to it. So, now could it be the brushes? Does that come off, make it a bit easier to work on? I don't know what that does. Right. So if I squeeze the trigger and give it a knock, yep, it's the brushes. Okay, that's usually an indication of the brushes. I don't know if you can see the sparks in there. No, it's not going to work now. Okay, I reckon I might. Let me think. So that's quite often an indication that it's the brushes. You give it a belt and it starts up. So what I might do is take that off. Take that little multi-rib belt off. So that it's only the motor turning, so I don't have to worry about any other rotating parts. There we go. So I'm pretty certain it's the brushes. So let's just see if there's anything I can do about that. I'll just switch it off and unplug it, because you never trust a switch. Everything's made in China. So the brushes are situated in there. So you've just got to find the right size screwdriver. What I'm looking at is that there, and on the other side, where the brushes go into the motor. So I'll just pop them out and have a quick squeeze at them. Right, check the other side too. Right, so I just need something to pop that out with. Got these little tiny ones. Maybe I can get a hold of the brush and get it out. Let's have a look. Not sure. Oh, here we go. Right, a lot of crud in there. Right, I'll just take the other one out. What are the chances of me, I do have some brushes. What are the chances of me having a set that would fit this? Probably pretty slim, I'd say. But you never know your luck in the big city, as they say. Just talk amongst yourselves while I try and get these out. Hang on. Oops, hang on. Oh, I nearly got you. Little bastard. There we go. Right, I'll show you what's happened to this. The brushes have worn. Now they're on a spring obviously to push them out against the armature, but if you look inside there, see that little copper lead? It's to that copper lead is tight, which means those brushes won't go any further regardless of what the spring tries to do. Because when I undid those screws there was almost no tension on them. So I think those brushes are just simply worn out. That one's not too bad. I think this one is the one that's the problem. See the difference in height? So one is worn more than the other, which is just pretty natural. In fact, that one, if you look at it, that one's burnt. So that's the one that's been arcing, and it won't go any further. The spring can't push it any further because that little... Hang on, let me clean that out. There we go, I should have done that to start with. Come on, focus, you can do it. That little copper braided lead in there, that spring cannot, I can't even pull that any further, so the spring can't push it any further, so that's it, that's those brushes worn out. So let's see if I've got a spare set. Might as well blow. Okay, so I've just blown them out, because that won't be helping. Bearings sound a wee bit dry, but they feel fine. So it just needs some new brushes. So let's see if I've got some new brushes in. Never know your luck. Right, I've got a set of brushes that aren't the same. But I'm wondering if... What does that have to contact in there? No, they won't work. Right, I've got a set of brushes, and once again they've got that little copper lead inside, but look at the difference in length. So that's how much they've worn over the years. The end connection is different, so I can't even bodgy this one up, so I'm going to have to actually get the correct brushes for this. So I'll contact my friend, see if they want to go to the expense. I'm sure it'll only be a few bucks, but we'll see how we go. See, it's a Makita, so I'll get on the interwebs now and get the brushes, the correct brushes for that, or price them up, and then let the person who wanted me to fix this, I'll let them know. So the ones I need to replace are 6mm by 10mm by whatever, 14mm long. So the brushes have arrived. I got two sets because they were very cheap, so I'm wondering if they're soft or if they'll fracture. I don't know, but they're worth a try for $9 for two sets. So the first thing you have to do is pull it apart and take this belt off, because I want to clean the commutator, not the armature. I was wrong earlier in the video when I said it was the armature. It's the commutator that the brushes run against. So I just need to work out how to get this case apart. Alright, so why won't that come apart? What am I doing? Alright, I'm attacking this from the wrong side. I thought these screws here hold the casing together, but they don't. They only hold the handle together, so they can go back in so I don't lose them. And that one can go back in. And that one can go back in.
so I'll just do these back up. Right, so I was tackling this from the wrong direction. I thought the casing would come up over here and reveal the motor, but it looks to me like the motor comes out this side here. Right, I finally worked it out. This is just a clip, like a wire clip, and it goes over this groove here. So that's what was stopping me from getting this part of the housing off. So I might actually give that a bit of a blowout. And I'm not sure how I'm going to get... Alright, well I'll give it a blowout and we'll see how we go. Okay, so I've blown it out. That cover just comes off. That's held on with one screw. So I'll put that over there so I know where that lives. Those two screws are for the case. Try to take these long screws here. See what happens. I'd really like to check the commutator. See. Right, so there's that front face off, so it's just catching on that, holding on that bearing there. There we go. Okay, so that's what was keeping that in. It was just a friction fit with that bearing. So there's the commutator there, and that's what I'd like to clean up. So I'll just clean up with a bit of wet and dry, put this all back together, and I'll just give that a bit of a rub with some wet and dry. I won't get too fancy with that. Just need to get that scorching there off. Have a look in there. Yep, looks fine. Alright then. So you don't get too fancy, you just see it's getting that back to copper. That's not too bad. I think that'll be fine for this one. I'll give that a bit of a wipe, bit of a polish up. Yep, that should be alright. I'll just give this a bit of a quick clean up with the wire brush. Sorry for kicking the tripod there. I'll give that a quick clean up with the wire brush and a bit of compressed air. So I'm just going to put a teeny weeny little bit of grease in there just to help that bearing go in against that aluminium, because aluminium's horrible shitty dry stuff. Just make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Nope. That's just got to come around the tiniest little bit. There we go. That's better. Put the screws back in. Yep, that looks okay. Put the little fan back on. A little bit of grease on that just to help it. Never hurts. You can hear that note change when it gets all the way home. There we go. And that little fan shroud goes on, make sure nothing's catching. No, that sounds good. Put a little, I'm just going to blow that crap out of there. Now I could have tested it without this on here, because that's only the blower for the sander. The actual fan for the cooling for the motor is in behind, draws the air in through that slot there and up through the top there. So I could have tested it, but I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. You watch, I've just put the mockers on myself, make sure that's not catching on anything. No, that's fine. Cover back on. So it's these two little screws here. Start them by hand, you never start screws or bolts with a power tool, just in case they're not lined up properly. Right, now, to fit the brushes, tear the bag open. Try not to get too much of your grubby fingers on them. They will go in I don't know if you can see in there. It's pretty easy to see. They'll only go in one way because they're not square. They're rectangular, so they will only fit one way. So, what I'm saying is, if you look in that hole there, I don't know if you can see in there. Those little ears have to go into the side of the groove, the same side of the groove that the brush goes in. So that goes like that. You've got to get that in without getting your grubby fingers on it. There we go. Get the little ears in. Right. So once again, you're wrestling with this little fine threaded plastic screw, which can be a bit of a shit to get in, unless you get it first go, which is always nice. So, right, let's plug this in. See if it doesn't take out the breakers in the shed, in the workshop, eh? Like I bought one. You will get a little bit of sparking of the brushes until they mate with the commutator to the right radius. So, but that looks to me like that's that fixed. So I'll put the little drive belt back on it. Right, so that's it on. So now you've just got to run it down one rib at a time till you get it all the way on. Right, now this one over here. Right. So now I'll put that cover back on. That little standoff tube goes in there. That long screw goes in there. There we go. I reckon that's it fixed. I'll put this back on. Now I've never used one of these, so I imagine there's some way to release. Just let me unplug that so that it doesn't tip one of my fingers off. So, how is that? Oh, hang on, there's a little lever there. Oh, there we go. It's just like a bench belt sander. So that goes, that's right, that goes in that direction. So that goes over there like that. I think that's right. And then that goes down like that. Okay. Is that all the way on? Doesn't look like it. Oh, here it is. Right, we'll just plug it in and just see what happens, eh? See if it needs tracking.
fun to use as you think, are they? Anyway, it's fixed. See if we can get this little bag back on. Right, I think that's it fixed. Let's have a look. Plug it back in. Right, it stopped sparking in there now. There's no sparking coming off the brushes, so that's good. So that's it fixed. There's a set of spare brushes. Alright, well I guess that's it for this video.
Alright, thanks for watching the video. I hope this helps you with fixing something of yours that stopped working for no apparent reason. As you can see, it's quite an easy thing to do, to change the brushes. They were pretty cheap off the interwebs, and like I said, I bought 2 sets because I wasn't sure how good they would be. But with the amount of use it'll probably get, these will probably last years and years. And the whole repair, basically without labour, costs about $9. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and that notification bell too. All right then, well I reckon that's it for today, so bye for now.